Before you write your C1 Advanced essay, you need to plan. But how can you plan if you don't know the structure of the essay you're planning? You can't. But don't worry. No, because Smash English is here to help you. My name is Toby, this is Smash English, and here is everything you need to know about structuring your essay for the C1 Advanced Cambridge exam. For a C1 Advanced Cambridge exam, we need to write between 220 and 260 words. Every essay question will ask us to basically do the same thing. Compare two prompts and say which has the biggest impact, or which has the biggest benefit, or which is the most important. It's usually one of these three things. But instead of me trying to explain to you what a question could be, why don't we look at some essay question examples? Exciting!
For example, in this question, the topic is news, and the question is, what is the best source of news? And we have three prompts, two of which we should use in our essay. We also have some ideas expressed in a panel discussion, and you can use these if you want, but it's not mandatory. So, for example, in this essay we must talk about the news. We can compare and contrast TV and the internet, and say which we think is the best source of news. In this question, our topic is sport. Our question is, what is the biggest benefit to playing sports? Again, we have three prompts, and we need to use two. We also have some ideas written down for us, but we do not have to use any of these if we don't want to. So, for example, in this essay we must talk about sports. We can compare and contrast being healthy and working in a team, and say which we think is the biggest benefit of playing sport. And lastly, in this essay our topic is the environment. Our question is, what measure would have the biggest impact on saving the environment? We have three prompts, and as always we need to use only two. And we have some ideas, but we don't have to use them if we do not want to. So, for example, in this essay we must talk about saving the environment. We can compare and contrast laws and education.
Now, let's look at the C1 Advanced marking scheme for the writing part of the exam. When it comes to how our essay structure can improve our marks, we need to look at two categories: content and organisation. In order to get full marks in content, we need to ensure that everything we include in the essay is relevant, and also that the target reader is fully informed. Making sure that everything is relevant means we only include information that is necessary in order to complete the task. Remember that for the C1 Advanced essay, we should only talk about two prompts. Some students will talk about three, and this means they have included irrelevant information, and they will lose marks for doing this. Very, very important, only write about two prompts, and this should be integrated into your structure, obviously. Making sure that the target reader is fully informed means that the reader can understand the topic, the question, and the prompts only by reading your essay. Our essay structure, therefore, should make this very, very clear. In order to get full marks in organisation, we need to make sure our essay is an organised and coherent whole. This means that every part of our essay should be connected in some way. This means connection within paragraphs, so our ideas are logically connected, but also connection between paragraphs, so our paragraphs should be logically connected. This is where our essay structure comes into play. So, we need to ensure that our essay does four things. Number one, it includes all of the relevant information. Number two, it does not include any irrelevant information. Number three, it ensures that the target reader is fully informed. The target reader should be able to understand the topic, the question, and the prompts only from reading the essay. And number four, it should be organised and coherent. So, how can we do all of that with a structure? Well, let me tell you. But first, remember, There are many different structures that you could use to stay relevant, not included relevant information, keep the target reader informed, and be organised and coherent. This structure is just a suggestion, so if you don't like it, don't get angry with me. It's just a suggestion. Use it if you want. If you don't want to use it, then don't. Jesus, I'm not forcing you to do anything. You don't even have to watch this video, alright? Gosh. The first thing we need is an introduction. So, what should the introduction do? Well, we need to inform the target reader. We need to make sure they're informed. They should know what they're reading by reading our introduction. So, the introduction should inform the target reader of the topic, the question, and the prompts.
Here is an example for our essay about sport. Notice how the introduction introduces the topic generally. Then it poses the question of the essay. I used 3 rhetorical questions, one to pose the question and one to introduce each prompt.
You don't have to do it this way. Why have I done it this way? Because I love rhetorical questions. Why do I love rhetorical questions? Because I love questions, alright? But there are many other ways that you can inform the target reader in your introduction. If you want to discuss the topic more generally and introduce the prompts more generally without using rhetorical questions, then that's fine. I've just done it my way. You do it your way. Just make sure that your introduction informs the target reader of the topic, the question, and the prompts you have chosen to talk about in the essay. That's what's important in your introduction. Yes, yes. After your introduction, we need 2 paragraphs. That's 1 paragraph for each prompt. So in the case of our essay about sports, that's 1 paragraph about teamwork and another paragraph about being healthy, if these are the prompts that I have chosen to talk about. These paragraphs should relate the prompts to the topic. Use it as an opportunity to talk about the positive arguments in favour of each prompt. And the order of these paragraphs doesn't matter. Maybe you could do introduction, being healthy, teamwork, or introduction, teamwork, being healthy. It doesn't matter, alright? It just does not matter.
So for our essay about sport, we have our introduction, then a paragraph about sports and being healthy, and then a paragraph about sports and teamwork. These paragraphs should be descriptive. Your goal in these paragraphs is to use as much specific vocabulary related to the topic and the prompts as possible. Really try and show off with your language here. We will talk more about how to do that in another video. If our introduction is about 40 words long, these 2 paragraphs should be about 50 words each.
Now, here comes the important paragraph, paragraph 4, and this is where we will compare and contrast. This paragraph should acknowledge the benefit, the impact, or the importance of one prompt. However, it should conclude that the benefit, the importance, or the impact of another prompt is greater. You are taking both of the prompts and you are putting them at war with each other, and only one of them can win. Yeah, that's what you're doing in paragraph 4. Let's look at an example. Hopefully it will become clearer.
Here is my example. Notice how in this paragraph we start with a rhetorical question to let the reader know that we are going to directly deal with the essay question. Now, you don't have to do this with a rhetorical question. We will talk about other techniques related to this in another video. Then we acknowledge what was said in relation to one prompt with a concessive clause, and then contrast this with why our other prompt is a greater benefit. This is what paragraph 4 should do. It's a synthesis of paragraphs 2 and 3. As for the word count, about 60 to 70 words would be good.
And our last paragraph is our conclusion. It is here that we summarise our essay and present our personal opinion. This is very, very important. Our opinion must be linked to what we said in paragraph 4. And the contents of paragraph 4 must be linked to what we said in paragraphs 3 and 2. That way, our essay is a coherent whole. And that's very important for marks in organisation.
So, in this conclusion, we have given our opinion, and we've linked this opinion to what was said in paragraph 4, which was itself linked to what was said in paragraphs 2 and 3. This ensures that every part of our essay is connected, forming a logical whole. This is super important for high marks in organisation.
So then, to summarise, paragraph 1 is our introduction. It is here where we introduce the topic, we present the question, and we let the target reader know what 2 prompts we have chosen to write about. In paragraph 2, we discuss one prompt in relation to the topic and the question. In paragraph 3, we discuss another prompt in relation to the topic and the question. In paragraph 4, we should compare and contrast both of these prompts and explain why one of them has a greater benefit, greater importance, or greater impact than the other one. And paragraph 5, our conclusion, should summarise our essay and present our opinion. And remember, our opinion must be linked to what we said in paragraph 4. Yes, yes! And with that, we are finished. Now you know everything you need to know about one possible structure for a C1 Advanced essay. Maybe you know another one, and if you know a better one, leave it in the comments and educate me and my viewers, because that's a fantastic thing. If you liked the video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment down below. My name is Toby, and this was Smash English.